Here are some of my thoughts. You may like them, you may not. I'm going to talk about something that I think is extremely important when my van warms up. Okay? That is the use of language as parents and martial arts instructors. Okay, so first I'm going to talk to parents, especially dads, because this is kind of a dude thing to do. This is kind of a thing that guys do. When you are watching the news and say your child is around and something comes up about a kid being victimized by an adult, please don't react with the typical macho, if that ever happened to you, I'd fucking kill the guy, I would do this, I would do that, I would, I understand the sentiment, and I've said shit like that before. However, what it does to our children, and I know this because of, I've had so many people come through my gym who've talked to me about so many different things and opened up about so much. So what happens is the child feels unsafe to disclose around the parent because they think if they disclose, it's going to cause their beloved parent to get into trouble. And don't forget that people who victimize children often are people they love. I know, that's disturbing, that's a hard fact to swallow, but it is statistically verifiable. And these are people who are extremely charming to children. They are extremely well-versed in making children feel like what's going on is special. This is something that you need to really pick your words carefully so you don't set up a barrier between you and your child about disclosing abuse. Okay, now to you martial arts instructors. You gotta stay away from language like that about your kids, with your students, because some of your adult students, if you have more than 5 adult students, there's probably someone who's had to put away that anger to do what's best for their child. And what's best for their child is not murdering the abuser. And I'll tell you why. The child ends up blaming themselves for the loss of their parent, who will go to jail, and the death of this person who they are totally mixed up about how they feel about them. So, choose your language very, very carefully. And also, let's stay away from the language of, I would do this if somebody did that. I would do this as a martial arts instructor. If you can't say, this is what I did when it happened to me, keep your fucking mouth shut. You do not need to put those ideas on people because you don't know what you would do. You're talking through your ass and you're talking with your machismo. You got to be more mature than that, because when you're saying stuff like that, or when you're saying what you would do if somebody did that to your child, someone in your class is likely being hurt because they're going, man, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, or I would do this. And then you have somebody who suffered through a freeze, which is completely normal and is exactly what happens to most people, even trained people, when they are forced into a situation that is beyond their mind's capacity to handle. You gotta use sober judgment and pick your words carefully, because as a parent, as a martial arts instructor, your influence can hurt people. Let's let go of the macho bullshit. Let's be honest. Let's search our hearts for mature answers to societal problems that exist and that people are suffering through. Let's not make people feel like they failed because they froze or whatever they did. They didn't do what they didn't gouge the eye out and bite the throat and fucking stab them in the ribs. Because extreme violence is ugly. And most people aren't capable of instantly going to that. even if you hit pads and scream like a Krav Maga fucking class, most people will freeze. Training will shorten the freeze, but most people will freeze. Actually, I think all people freeze. It's just a matter of how long. These are my thoughts. Let's do better as a community, because a lot of times we have vulnerable people in our classes. Thank you.